It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by AgileDad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. It's Friday and it's time for our Agile, Not So Agile episode of the Daily Stand Up. So, I found a story that I don't know that I've ever heard before. So, let's give it a shot and see if we can connect the moral of the story to something that's happening in our everyday life. Once there was an old man. He went to a shoe store and carefully bought a very fine pair of shoes. He bought it in a size 10, knowing it was a really common size, even though he didn't wear a size 10. So immediately the thought went to, well, who is he gifting the shoes to? When he was on his way home, he carefully dropped one of the shoes out of a speeding train. That's kind of weird. But when the other passenger thought, oh, wow, what a waste, he quickly threw out the other shoe. The passengers on the train were shocked. They said, what are you doing? Why did you throw away a perfectly good pair of shoes? The old man smiled and explained, no matter how expensive this pair of shoes is, the remaining single shoe is useless to me. So why not just throw it out to be with the other shoe in hopes that whoever picks them up will now have a nice pair of shoes to wear and use that will help them? I thought that was interesting. And I was trying to get to the moral of the story, get to the crux. And I think that sometimes we hang on to things in our life that make us regret, or that make us feel miserable, or that make us feel sad, rather than getting rid of those things and discarding them, and hoping that someone else can learn from that experience and make their own lives better, which I think is really really interesting, because there's always a chance to let go, and sometimes letting go could be a better solution. So I know in my personal life and in my professional life that there have been plenty times where I've been cautious. And, for me to be cautious, that's pretty wild because I'm usually not the person to be cautious, just saying. But when I am cautious, sometimes I'm overly cautious. And I find that I'm always over analyzing. What about this? What about that? What if this happens? What about that? What about this? And this lesson or this story was really good for me to hear today because it's almost exactly what I needed. It talks about giving someone else an opportunity to learn from your mistakes and to better themselves so that they'll have the better pair of shoes and so that they can move on and hopefully do something with that learning experience in their life. And just because it was something that was a bad memory for you or something that you're hanging on to doesn't mean that it's something that's going to make someone else miserable. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you're looking at it from an agile perspective, maybe look at it from a perspective of, are there things that we're doing that don't really make sense? Are there things that we're doing that are bringing us down? From the other perspective, if you're looking at it from a personal perspective, sometimes you need to look at it and, I hear so many people say, oh, well, this happened or this event happened and it made me feel a certain way, right? The event didn't happen to make you feel that way. The event did happen, but you chose to feel that way. And I think sometimes the better solution is just to say, you know what? Things happen. Stuff happens, right? And sometimes we don't recognize it until, it's too late. And once something happens, there's not a whole lot of reverse cycle that we can do to get out of whatever is happening. So for me, I really do believe that sometimes letting go is the right answer and not dwelling on things. Other times it's giving people an opportunity to understand, and understanding and hearing and respecting their opinion as well, because I think it's a combination of both that's going to help bring you to where you need to be. So, in summary, take opportunities to let go of the things in your life that are bogging you down. Take opportunities to release some of that pressure, even if it means giving up something good to release something bad. I think the value comes when you no longer have those burdens and you can freely communicate and freely make decisions and freely do the things that are going to help you grow and improve the quality of your life. Well, short and sweet. I hope you have an amazing weekend. If you have a topic you want us to discuss on the Daily Stand Up Podcast, make sure you let us know. Learn more at agiledad.com. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.